is Valley News Live at 5.
The North Dakota Department of Health is now recommending the use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The FDA and the CDC have lifted the pause after 15 rare cases of a severe type of blood clot were found in women who got the vaccine. The Department of Health Immunization Director says Johnson & Johnson is a valuable vaccine for certain populations.
Having a one-dose vaccine is much more convenient than having people come back for 2 doses. And so, especially in certain populations, like people that are less likely to come back, so younger individuals or even in homeless shelters or correctional settings.
State health leaders say the pause should not set the state back in vaccinations. Health department employees are hopeful the pause builds trust and will foster more confidence in all COVID-19 vaccines. Meanwhile, Minnesotans can also get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The state health department says 9,600 doses were sent out to providers before the pause went into effect. Those can now begin going into arms this week, but the state won't be getting any more doses until supply amps up again. The FDA will include a safety warning that can be handed out at vaccine sites. Feels good to be in a warming trend. Let's see if we can get rain to the areas that need it most. Hutch is here with a look at this evening. Hey, Hutch.
Hey, Andrea. Good evening, everyone. As we take a look across the FM area, skies are on the gray side, a little hazy out there. It's not too cool, and we started out with some morning showers here. Those showers have pressed off into eastern Minnesota. And, well, in the last hour, the thunder and lightning activity decreasing, but there certainly was some from those thunder showers. For us, no thunder or lightning. Northern Barnes County, northeastern Stutzman County seeing some rain shower activity, not all of which is reaching the ground, but that area is in bad need of precipitation. Look at our temperature range, 30s in Bemidji to mid-50s in Grand Forks and Hallock. This evening in Fargo, we will slip down into the 40s for most of the evening hours with light wind. I cannot rule out a drop or two of rain as we go through the late evening hours. We'll have details on that. Some of us will have rain shower activity potential into your day on Tuesday. So we'll have your hour-by-hour facts on that, as well as a wonderful warm-up to talk about. We'll do all of that in just a few moments.
Okay, thanks, Hutch. What started as an attempt to spread hate is bringing a community together. Cleanup is underway at the Moorhead Fargo Islamic Community Center after the building was vandalized late Saturday with hate-related graffiti. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie shows you how they're rallying together.
A message of hate, washed away by a community's love. Those like Austin.
Just here for the sake of the community.
And Tracy rolling up their sleeves.
No place for hate in this community.
Joined by hundreds more.
I just think it's really important, like as a community, that we show up for each other.
All lending a hand after the Islamic Moorhead Mosque was vandalized this weekend with hate-related graffiti.
I never understand like the thought process that goes on to hate.
For the Islamic community, they say the mosque isn't just a place for worship. It belongs to all.
I'm not surprised about their reaction, because that's what community we have.
As police and the FBI search for the person who did this, the community says the attempt to spread hate failed when it gave people a reason to come together.
Whoever God or Allah or Muhammad or whoever is, he or she is not pleased today at what happened the other night. But then again, look, this is a reason to be happy.
Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
Authorities are looking for the person on your screen right now wearing a camouflage jacket and dark ski mask at the time of the vandalism. If you have any information, call dispatch 451-7660. Newly released surveillance video shows the person who Fargo police say vandalized the statue of Jesus outside of St. Mary's Cathedral in downtown Fargo. It happened around 3:30 the morning of April 17th. The statue has been cleaned since then. If you know who this is or have any information, call police. A man accused of causing a crash in Moorhead while running from police back in February is now in jail. The High Plains Fugitive Task Force spotted Burton Bonham walking around Moorhead this afternoon. He ran from police again, this time into a residence. Police were able to talk him into coming outside and arrested him. Police have been looking for him since February 10th when he fled the scene of a crash that they say he caused while running from Clay County Sheriff's deputies. Witnesses say he hit a cab, then cut through the Hornbachers parking lot. Police found his vehicle abandoned a few blocks away. A Fargo man is accused of sharing child pornography online. Cody Wilson is also accused of convincing a child to take and upload sexual content of themselves and send it to him. Court documents say police got a tip in October 2020 that an email address connected to Wilson uploaded pornographic video of a young girl online. Documents also say Wilson attempted to message and exchange child porn on the Kik app. Authorities also found drugs in his home. He will be in court again next month. Meanwhile, another Fargo man is accused of hitting and killing his girlfriend's Pomeranian dog. Court documents say Kyrie Juan Hill was upset because the dog was eating his food. A veterinarian said the dog had severe bleeding in its lung and no heartbeat. If convicted, Hill faces up to 5 years in prison. One person has been arrested after gunshots were fired in a Minnesota middle school. It happened at Plymouth Middle School before 9 this morning. School district officials say several shots were fired in a hallway by a student. The school went into lockdown and families were asked to pick up their students at a nearby high school. Officials say even though what happened today was unfortunate, the situation could have been worse.
This is the best resolution that could have happened today. No loss of life. Hopefully we can educate our students that this is not what we do, and we can move forward and be more peaceful.
School officials say a few kids did witness the incident, but no one was hurt. Around the nation, the U.S. Supreme Court today agreed to hear a major gun control case that will likely determine whether Americans have a constitutional right to carry firearms outside their homes. Reporter Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
The Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms is one of the most hotly contested phrases in the Constitution. And today, the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case deciding whether Americans have the right to carry weapons outside of their homes.
The Supreme Court said in 2008 that the Second Amendment provides an individual right to own a gun. The Second Amendment says the right to keep and bear arms. The court has never answered the question of what does it mean and bear.
The new case is a challenge to New York state law that allows residents to carry a concealed handgun only if they can demonstrate a special need. The state says the law promotes public safety, but lawyers for the challengers argue it, quote, makes it virtually impossible for the ordinary law-abiding citizen to obtain a license. This is the first time in more than a decade that the Supreme Court has taken on a major gun control case, and it will be a big test for a bench that now has a strong conservative majority, including 3 Trump appointees. The case coming before the High Court at the same time as a fierce debate in the court of public opinion about gun laws, made only more urgent after a recent string of mass shootings.
This is an epidemic, for God's sake, and it has to stop.
President Biden signing executive actions and calling on Congress to expand background checks. But now the Supreme Court will have a say in how, when, and where Americans can bear arms.
Meanwhile, Governor Doug Burgum signed a proclamation today designating North Dakota as a Second Amendment sanctuary state, reinforcing the state's support for constitutional rights to keep and bear arms. The governor also signed several bills protecting gun rights in the state. Turning to our COVID-19 coverage, a child under the age of 10 from southwestern Minnesota with no underlying health conditions has died from complications of COVID-19. The Department of Health says 3 Minnesota children have died from the illness since the pandemic began. Children under 16 are not yet eligible to get the vaccine. Minnesota's Department of Education commissioner says this reinforces that the pandemic is not over and that the precautions that we take each day are not just for our own safety, but for all Minnesotans. A Minnesota nursing home has paid the state's largest fine for a coronavirus-related safety violation after an employee contracted COVID and died. Shalom Community Alliance paid more than $27,000 in fines after David Calais died last May. The St. Louis Park nursing home was cited for failing to provide an adequate respiratory program for workers. Administrators there said management did everything possible to provide protective gear. For travelers heading to Canada from the U.S., a loophole in the pandemic rules means that if they skip the airport and head across on land, they can skip quarantine. The loophole has meant an uptick in land border crossings. Only those flying to Canada must spend up to 3 days of the country's 14-day required quarantine period in a hotel. The loophole could soon be muted as premiers from Canada's 2 most populous provinces have urged the Prime Minister to take further action at the land border. It's that time of year when crews start to think about mosquitoes. Find out when they'll start spraying next on Valley News Live at 5.
And rain gauges from recent rain showers and even flurries of snow, measuring a ½ inch or greater for many from the Southern Valley into Lakes Country. Tracking some showers from central North Dakota, moving through areas that need the precipitation. More in the forecast. I'll have hour-by-hour details coming up right after this.